So raising of the voice in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ is prohibited. So this is what this verse is talking about. وَلَا تَجْهَرُوا لَهُ بِالْقَوْلِ كَجَهْرِ بَعْضِكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ أَن تَحْبَطَ أَعْمَالُكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ. Don't you ever raise your voice over the voice of the Prophet ﷺ, just like the way you are talking to each other. The Prophet ﷺ should be different. Because if you do this, the Prophet ﷺ, this is the meaning of أَن تَحْبَطَ أَعْمَالُكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ. It's very important for us. Because when you make the Prophet ﷺ angry, you raise up your voice, the Prophet ﷺ is going to be silent. And he will be upset. And whenever the Prophet ﷺ is upset, who's going to be upset? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is upset, you know what will happen. Some people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala got angry with them, what happened? He turns them upside down. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave this to the believers. Don't you ever raise your voice over the voice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to get angry, and if this happened to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be angry also, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is angry, everything is going to be changed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is just. He said, وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ. In such a way you do not know. And that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said what? He said sometimes, many times, there will be a word that you will say this word, which is going to bring to you the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not giving any attention to the word, but this word will be the reason why you will go to paradise. And he said also sometimes you will say something not paying attention to it, but it is going to bring to you the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people, they will go to hell years because of this. And that's why we have to be very, very, very careful. You see, Mu'adh ibn Jabal, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he asked him, he said, Prophet, tell me something that I would do, something simple I will do, I will go to paradise. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about the root of Islam. And then he told him that, don't you want me to tell you about the doors of Hujurat? He said, yes, I want. He talked about prayer, he talked about sadaqah, he talked about zakah, he talked about all of those things that you can find them in even Arba'un al-Nawawiyah. The Prophet ﷺ talked about all of these things that can lead someone to paradise. And when you look at them, actually the Prophet ﷺ was summarizing Islam to him. But after he finished, what did he say? He bring out his tongue, he held it, he said, Kuffa alayka hada. Make sure that you're controlling this. Mu'adh said, Ya Rasulullah, are we going to be held accountable of what we say? The Prophet ﷺ said, I thought you were very wise. How can you think in this way? He said, is there anything that is dragging people, that is taking people to hell more than what their tongue cultivated? When you look at most of the sins, they are committed by what? By the tongue. That's why they said Abu Bakr used to hold his tongue and say what? You are the one who is putting me into trouble. Yeah, sometimes they saw him with knife, he's going to cut off, he said this is what he's putting, and this is Abu Bakr. Brothers and sisters, this is Abu Bakr, not someone like us. He's saying that my tongue is the one that is putting me into trouble. I should get rid of it. It's wrong to get rid of it, but it's good to control it. Someone went to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Ya Rasulullah, man najah? What is the way to success? How can I succeed in this life? How can I save myself from hell? The Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to succeed, you have to make sure that you cry because of your evil deed, and you have to make sure that your house is enough for you. Instead of going out and committing sins in terms of tragedies and trial, you make sure that your house is enough for you. And also, you make sure that you control your tongue. 3 things he told him. Crying for your own sin, minding your own business, not talking about other people's sins, and also staying in your house instead of going out all the time and committing sin. This is in the time of trials and tragedies, because if there is benefit in going out, it's better for you to go out. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-mu'min alladhi yukhalitu an-nas wa yasbiru ala adahum khayrun min al-mu'min alladhi la yukhalitu an-nas wa la yasbiru ala adahum." He said the best, the mu'min who is mixing with the people, mingling with the people, and is patient with their own attitude, is better in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the one who does opposite. He doesn't want to mix with the people and he's impatient. So that means whenever there is benefit, you go out and gain from that. Whenever there is no benefit, the scholars they said what? فَكُنْ حِلْسَ بَيْتٍ فَهُوَ سِتْرٌ لِعَوْرَةٍ وَحِلْسُ الْفَتَى عَنْ كُلِّ غَاوٍ وَمُفْسِدٍ. Stay in your house. Stick with your house. Because this is your protection against the eyes of the people to see your aura, and also you protect yourself from seeing something that is going to put you into doubt. Because when you go out unnecessarily, what will happen? You will meet some people that will make you having doubt. That's why Ibn Hazm said something which is very important for us. He has a book named Al-Akhlaq was-Sir. If you see this book, buy it. And Al-Akhlaq was-Sir. Yeah. And it has another name, Mudawat al-Nufus, but mainly they call it Al-Akhlaq was-Sir. I never saw a book in terms of how to deal with others and manners like this book. He himself, he said, this book, I'm giving it to you free, and it is the summary of my life. It's an experiment that he has been doing for years. So he came out with the book. In this book, he said something very interesting. He said, لا تخالط الناس ولا تفارقهم. Someone will say, Ibn Hazm, what's wrong with you? He said, don't you ever mix with people. And also, ولا تفارقهم. And don't you ever forsake them. Don't you mix with them, and don't you stay away from them. So what are you trying to say? I don't go to them, and I don't stop going. And I don't go to them, and also I don't stay home. So it's like go, don't go. He said, فَإِنَّكَ إِذَا خَالَتَهُمْ أَذَوْكَ. Because when you mix with them, they are going to harm you, whether you like it or you don't like it. You know human beings. وَإِذَا فَارَقْتَهُمْ إِسْتَوْحَشْتَ. If you leave them, you stay alone, you're going to feel lonely, and you cannot do this actually. In your life, staying alone, you cannot do this. Thinking and imagination will come. You understand? So you have to mix with the people. And you don't have to mix with the people. So what does that mean? He said, إِجْعَلْهُمْ كَالنَّارِ تَسْتَدْفِئُ بِهَا عِنْدَ الْحَاجَةِ. That's the lesson. He said, make them like fire that you always light up because you are in need. Did you ever see someone who is lighting up the fire for fun? No one. We light up the fire either to cook, or we are cold, we need some warm place, or something else. No one likes heat places, so we don't light fire. He said, make people like fire, that you go to them if you need. If you don't need, stay away. When I go to Brother Masri, okay, Brother Masri, we have an issue, this and that, and then after a few seconds, the issue is finished. And we cannot sit just like this. He's looking at me, I'm looking at him. Someone has to talk. And then what are we going to say? Oh, you know, Brother Yusuf, wallahi, I don't know, why did he do this? And then we will start bringing issues that are going to lead us into trouble. Backbiting and all these things. Because we cannot sit keeping quiet. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِذَا طَعِمْتُمْ فَانْتَشِرُوا. Because when you eat, now all of the information and talking, they will come. And you will start bringing out something which is inappropriate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when you eat in the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, leave the place. So Allah understands. So this is very important lesson that we have to learn from this. So the tongue, we should make sure that we are controlling it. Wallahu alam. Can we take the next verse? Or?